October is Cybersecurity Month, and with the year that 2014 has been, it's really important to apply network security protections for your company. Starting with the major debacle last year at Target during the previous holiday season, the mess that we have going on right now with Home Depot, and all the other breaches that have happened throughout the year, it's more important than ever to make sure that your network is protected and your employees understand the best possible procedures to make sure that they stay safe and that your IT team is able to enforce those. So users in your company should be aware of what kind of data is sensitive and how they should keep it safe at all costs. Good example of keeping important data like passwords safe is the breach that happened with Codespaces a couple of months ago. That was a scenario where a group of hackers managed to get into their cloud dashboard and they basically took the company hostage. When they found out that they weren't going to get paid, as Codespaces was looking to hack the hackers back out, the hackers went nuclear and deleted everything in the dashboard, including backups, virtual machines, everything the company held dear. Following that attack, the company would go bankrupt. Obviously, this is something that you want to prevent. And how do you prevent that? The first thing that comes to mind is how do you keep the hackers out to begin with? That's where employee education comes into play, since most hackers rely on phishing attacks and social engineering attacks to find out what they want. Social engineering is a bit different from phishing. That's when they might do an email asking for things that aren't passwords or sensitive information, but maybe they'll ask for a birthday or a specific email account they use for an account, which will come from a legitimate appearing source, maybe a bank asking to verify direct deposit. What the employee doesn't know is what they gave them is the answer to their security question, which gives the password, which gets them in. Just an example of how it works, and of course phishing attacks. Those are your standard emails that say, open me, and when you open it, a can of worms comes out. Basically, it's very important to keep these things safe so that you don't give attackers golden tickets just like that. And it's also important to remember that not all attacks are about data. Sometimes hackers want something a little bit more reliable. They want cash. The crypto locker attacks from last year are a great example of that. That was a scenario with a virus that was locking up computers through complete encryption. And if you didn't pay up anywhere from $100 to a few grand, your data was gone. Now, if you were diligent about doing backups, wasn't that big a deal. Just reformat, reinstall everything, and recover from your backups. Not too bad. But if you weren't diligent about your backups, that could be absolutely devastating. Remember, Codespaces went down for the count because they lost their backups and their active data. So if you don't have active backups, that's kind of a big problem. And usually the way you get these kinds of attacks are either through phishing attacks or for going to parts of the internet that aren't quite as safe, which is why, again, education, very important to make sure that your employees understand what tools should be used, what company policies are for internet use, and of course, always be backing up. Now, most of these attacks have assumed operator error or a mistake by an employee, but that doesn't mean all attacks are caused by employees. Sometimes hackers just look for the holes in your network security that already exist that have nothing to do with customers or employees. Look at the iCloud scandal that's happening right now. Sometimes they just use brute force attacks to either overwhelm a system or until they get lucky and get it right, and all of a sudden all kinds of sensitive data is out. Both of these types of attacks can be protected against with firewall solutions, especially next generation firewalls, through intrusion prevention services and application controls, and combined with employee education, like I've been railing on about, that should help protect you against most attacks. You'll notice I said most. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as a 100% guarantee that you're not going to get hacked, because there's something known as a zero-day attack. That's basically when you happen to be the first victim, or a patient zero, if you will. And it all starts with you. A firewall can't protect you against something that has no clue is a virus, after all. Not only that, attacks can come from inside the network. You could have disgruntled employees with nasty grams loaded into USB drives From there, they plug into their machine, they email to other employees, and if your other employees don't know that that person's upset, they would never have any reason to suspect that the spreadsheet that they're sending them is actually a version of CryptoLocker or something else that'll infect the rest of the network. That's why it's so important to have a plan B in place. By having other infrastructure off-site, whether it's your own servers through our co-location services or a backup of your mission-critical applications to either our VN Cloud solution or in our dedicated private servers, that gives you a way to be up and running at all times. So even if something like this does happen to you, you're able to get back up and keep marching and taking care of your customers. To learn more about our services, or to get more information, please reach out to us at 305-735-8098, option 2, or by emailing sales@vaultnetworks.com.